Someday I will do it better, but today is not that day.
This is the most riveting first 15 seconds ever.
Hey, Jeremiah, you're not always muted on mute. Little known fact, you can unmute here and talk over the video.
Go on.
What was that?
I don't even see.
It's on!
I hope someday the family that you see just before you realize that's Gideon running down the street watches this video and says, that's me. I've been in this video this whole time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Disney Parks Talk Live, the weekly show in which we go through the week in Disney Park news. This week, we have our standard panel, which would be me, Doobie. I'm up here in the upper right. Over there to my right is Rebecca Mosley. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm okay.
She is the co-founder of Laughing Place and the cohabiter of our home. Down there in the corner, no, below me, right below me, is the vice president in charge of all things that start with S at Laughing Place, Star Wars and SoCal, Mike Celestino.
And Snuffleupagus.
Very good. Very good.
And the guy in the corner with the blue sky in the background, the vice president of traveling coast to coast and making sure that this week we are coming to you from all over the world, but mostly California. Jeremiah Good.
Aren't we all in California?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, to start off, I did not see the video play at all, and that's something I usually see, so that's why I was talking.
That's hysterical. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
And you were unmuted, so you were talking over the video. So
That's so great.
We're going to talk about the week in Disney news, and it has been a busy one. Even just today, lots more news coming out. So, as always, if you have any questions, any comments, any requests, Jeremiah is at Universal Studios California right now. Anything you'd like him to show you, as long as it's within arm's reach, just put it in the comments. We will do our best to accommodate. So, where are we starting today, Rebecca?
We are starting with the exciting holiday news coming out of the Disneyland Resort.
What's
There
this?
it is.
What's this?
It's the special gingerbread house celebrating the 20th anniversary of this overlay at the mansion. You can see what they've done is incorporating various elements that have been added over the years into this house. For example, some of the things they point out are like in 2008, a giant gingerbread coffin house happened. So that's represented. You have a pop-up Santa Claus house. You have the 13 Days of Christmas. You have the gingerbread card. You have the Oogie Boogie Bug Infested. So all sorts of different themes to the gingerbread house over the years are incorporated into this year's 20th anniversary design.
I'm not one to criticize someone else's design because I have no skills in that area. This looks like one of those ideas that was better on paper. What do you think of it, Mike Celestino?
Isn't it only on paper so far?
I'm presuming they're going to build it.
Okay.
I think it looks great. What are you talking about?
So
Yeah.
I went looking at it when this morning, like I was looking at what's, 03, 04. And some of them are just like, here's the side of a piece of a gingerbread that represents the Oogie Boogie year of 03. And it's like, how is that representing anything? That's just like they're sticking numbers and pointing to things.
You guys are so wrong.
Do you think the piece is actually left over from that year? Like they?
Ew.
So,
You think so, Jeremiah?
yeah, they just go in there and spray it with that formaldehyde so it just stays like that.
Yeah, it's not edible. Anyway, Mike, so what is
That's
your
like the
opinion
best idea.
of this house in particular and Haunted Mansion Holiday in general?
I like Haunted Mansion Holiday. I wish it were shorter in length. It takes up 4 months, I think, right? It's like a third of the year. It's too much.
It is. Plus, then more weeks for refurb. So
Exactly. And I do think that cake looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it in person.
I love the way it makes the mansion smell like gingerbread. They've also announced, which is probably the headlining news, but I'm always a gingerbread house person, and I got to choose which went first. They've also announced the return of Halloween time, Oogie Boogie Bash, fireworks, more. Let's see, Halloween time, September 3rd through October 31st. The Oogie Boogie Bash is going to have the frightfully fun parade, the Villains Grove over there at Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, a Mickey's Trick or Treat show. They also say that along with that, for the Oogie Boogie, Halloween time is going to have the Radiator Springs overlay called Radiator Screams, the return of Coco and other items over on that far end of the pier area for Dia de los Muertos. And
Radiator Screams is an overlay of the Radiator Springs Racers attraction, or just the land?
The land.
Okay.
From what I understand, the land. They have like unique songs on.
So same as we've gotten before.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Okay.
And then over at Disneyland, the fireworks Halloween Scream show is coming.
And the tickets go on sale tomorrow for the ticketed event, correct? Yep. Beginning on July 13th,
July 13th.
which I believe is also when Run Disney tickets go on sale.
Whew. Oh, the stress levels are so high tomorrow.
It's going to be fun tomorrow watching Diz Twitter.
And then one thing that our team noted in the announcement of Halloween time is that there wasn't any statement regarding World of Color.
Good point.
Has that previously had a Halloween show, you guys?
Villainous, is that what it was called?
Something
Yeah,
like that, yeah.
I don't remember if it ever actually happened. I remember it getting announced, but I guess it would have happened, right? 2019?
Yeah, 2019 did happen.
Yeah. Okay.
It came right before 2020, if you recall. Mike,
That year didn't happen.
have you been to Oogie Boogie Bash before, Mike?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it only happened the one year, right? 2019.
So it's coming. $114 is what it cost. Starting at $114, probably has the dynamic pricing depending on the date.
That Villains Grove is super neat.
And one really nice thing about it is it does get you into DCA starting at 3 p.m., even though the event itself doesn't start till 6. So that's not bad.
And it includes unlimited digital photo pass. I don't know if that's like a thing that is super cool or just something that they note, but it sounded nice, so I thought I would read it.
I feel like you walk away with at least $100 worth of candy.
That's true, which turns into $1,000 worth of dental bills.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say Halloween time is also going to bring Guardians of the Galaxy Monsters After Dark back to the Disneyland Resort.
Now, people love that like it's at least as much as the original, right?
I actually love it a little bit more than the original.
Yeah,
Benji and I went on it like 3 times when they did a Parks blog meetup, and we got off just laughing the entire time and ran back on.
Cool. So just feels good to have such normal events happening again as soon as Halloween, and we're talking tickets on sale tomorrow. Entries start in September. That feels very nice.
And a little later this year, Christmas is coming, and they've announced that while the Very Merry Christmas Party isn't coming back, a new holiday offering is arriving called Disney's Very Merriest After Hours.
Best name ever?
Oh.
Yeah. Anything that they can throw after hours onto, that equals it's going to be upwards of $120. And I believe that's the lowest ticket price is about $120 for that. It's much like the Halloween. I hope that next year we will see the return of the Christmas party, but who knows what'll come about this. If they, as they've done with the Halloween, they've sold out many of the nights already, and they've added more. So there may not be a need to come back.
What does it sound like the major difference is, VP of East Coast on the West, between this event and Very Merry Christmas?
Because it's after hours, after hours has gotten the limited ticket sales, where at one point Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Not So Scary both had limited ticket sales, but then they just kind of turned it into a full park event. So in the past, I mean, we never heard official numbers, but we were told unofficially that it was a few thousand people for after hours events, where Very Merry would have a full park, almost like there would be lines that were longer to go on Space Mountain for Very Merry parties than there were during the day.
How about as far as activities?
There is no, well, they don't say that the Christmas parade is coming back. I don't believe they actually say anything about a cavalcade either. They say
Correct.
they talk about Santa coming down Hollywood Boulevard later during the days at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So the parade for me was always the highlight. The fireworks were always lots of fun, and they did refer that the fireworks were going to return, the minis ones that started in 2019, that some people really enjoyed and some people felt it was like kind of a letdown after Holiday Wishes. But
The Minnie's wonderful Christmas time fireworks show, and I'll be honest, I thought the name change was going to be another example of Disney adopting what is being labeled as more inclusive language, and so I thought that that's what the decision was. So to just go with kind of the very merriest without the inclusion of the word Christmas, but then the event itself has the wonderful Christmas time fireworks show. So I was like, okay, well, I guess, so then it was like, okay, I guess that's not it. So it was one of those, that's why that's where my mind went with the name change, just because of the pattern we've been seeing.
Well, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it's still Christmas time.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. There's a difference between a Christmas and Christmas time. So maybe it is a move towards inclusive, but I don't know. That was just purely my just kind of following the pattern of what we've been seeing.
I think the biggest letdown of this is there's no talk of snickerdoodle cookies or hot cocoa.
But what there is unlimited ice cream, treats, popcorn, and bottled beverages all included.
You're adding the word unlimited.
You're right, I am, but I'm doing it based on previous after-hours events.
Oh, okay, because I'm saying all I see is holiday treats, ice cream, popcorn, bottled beverages included with the cost of.
No, I know people that would walk out there with 24 bottles in their backpack, leaning to one side.
And this event, while they do have holiday fast pass, I'm sorry, not fast pass, photo pass, photo opportunities, the photos are for purchase, unlike what we were reading with the Oogie Boogie, where your digital photo pass was included.
Given the ticket sales for Very Merry Christmas, how it no longer was really limited at all, I would rather pay twice as much for this event and for nearly the same activities, but for an empty park, than I would for Very Merry Christmas, in all honesty.
No, I've always enjoyed the after-hours events. I've always said that if you have a limited amount of time, that is the best way to do is the after-hours events, because every time that I've gone, and you guys did the Animal Kingdom one that one time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when I've done Magic Kingdom and Disney's Hollywood Studios did it briefly, I believe. I rode everything. I think I counted that I had ridden Seven Dwarfs Mine Train 5 times in a row, and you can't do that during the day.
Rebecca and I did studios, and I'm pretty sure we did
Slinky Dog Dash that many times.
8 times, yeah.
Yeah, Brian says that he read that the Dreamlights won't be back till, a few years from now. I was going to say, I know this year they have that special 50th lighting array thing that they, are announcing. So I know that will have just recently, in October is when that starts. So I can see where we wouldn't be expecting the traditional, netting of Christmas lights.
Yeah, they talk about the beacons of magic for all the parks, because that's the part of the 50th. And of course, we know the 50th celebration, the year of Disney, is 18 months.
Speaking of beacons of magic, I just want to point out Jeremiah looks great in that pink shirt.
I like how Danielle thinks he's reporting from In-N-Out.
No, I had In and Out before I drove up the hill to here, Universal Studios Hollywood.
Are you near Mel's?
No, I'm actually right at the entrance. Hang on. We've learned we can't turn my camera, so I'll just kind of pan. That's the entrance right over that way. And if you head that way, there's the plaza, and Mel's is down around the corner.
Okay. While it is nice that there is a after-hours Christmas party happening at the Magic Kingdom, what matters to me, and therefore is more important news, the return of the gingerbread house. So they've announced that many of the gingerbread houses will be returning to the Walt Disney World Resort.
You need to calm down, Rebecca. They have not said if the Grand is one of them.
So, no, it says right here. Select gingerbread displays will once again be part of the holiday season, though which ones have yet include. Oh no, you're right. Though they have yet to be. No, when I read it earlier, I read have not been announced. Although this one is, this one has been, but no, it is the opposite. You're right. Okay, but I'm still happy because there will be some. So
I'm sure there will.
I love gingerbread houses.
Yes, if they're going to bring some back, they need to bring that one back. And then at Hollywood Studios, they're going to have the projections on the Tower of Terror returning, although I didn't see any mention of Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam.
Yeah, there's been no talk of the fireworks returning to Disney's Hollywood Studios yet, which
is a shame. But it's so much fun to say.
Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam.
That's right. And then Animal Kingdom, the projections on the tree, which will be lit for Beacons of Magic. Disney Springs will have... so Disney Springs is going to have snowfall, but they don't mention if it's going to bring back the... What is it called? The Trail of Trees or something?
Yeah, the Christmas Tree Trail.
I'm sorry. The Return of Christmas Tree Trail. My bad. It will be there.
I didn't get a chance to look over that far. Does it refer to Santa out on the lake again like he was last year?
No.
Because that was fun. Him and Mrs. Claus would float around the entire lake waving to everybody.
I would hope they're back to doing a meet and greet by then, but who knows? They did say that Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar will be transforming into Holiday Bar again, so I'm sure you're thrilled about that, Jeremiah. You Adventures Club people.
No, I can tell you that they changed that in 2019, and the only reason I think anybody actually knew was one person in one Facebook group went in there and said, "Oh, they put a bunch of Christmas lights and stuff up in there. Did anybody know anything about this?" Nobody knew anything.
Okay. Oh, there is something new at Hollywood Studios for the first time. The Forever Frozen sing-along. No, it's not for the first time. For the first time, it's in the name of the show. But Olaf will be there.
Yeah, they're bringing back the Olaf finale that was when they did the Frozen Christmas special a couple of years ago. They brought it in, and it's really cute and fun. And then, spoiler, Olaf comes out at the end.
So I'm curious, Jeremiah, I know you're so in tune. Do you have any idea, because someone asked this earlier, any speculation on if Candlelight will return this year?
That has been a big question. As of right now, I would probably say no, because in the past years, they've started auditioning for cast members to be part of Candlelight, like end of June. And there has been no notifications, no announcements of anything. They could always do the Disneyland way and cut it down, and so it's not nightly for 89 nights. But I think that they would want to expand as much as possible. So we'll see.
Go on, Rebecca.
I thought next up we could talk about the recently debuted, I'm not sure if it's totally completed yet at Disneyland, but the Jungle Cruise. I'll let who should we start with, DB? I'll let you pick.
Mike, of course. Mike got to do it.
Yeah, so Friday morning, we were invited down to be among the first to ride the new Jungle Cruise. We did a live stream. I also put together a nice edited video of the whole new experience, although they did want us to clarify that they are still adding some details. And Kim Irvine said at least one major piece of the Trader Sam's gift shop had yet to be added. Jeremiah, do you have something to add?
Do we think that the one major piece of the Trader Sam's gift shop could be, I don't know, Trader Sam?
I honestly don't know.
Well, this is speculation. I know in Florida, they just revealed the Trader Sam's gift shop, and it has different props, but it also, before they put it in there, we saw a lot of the mechanical equipment going on underneath it. So hopefully, I was kind of guessing when they kind of stressed the not complete yet, that could hopefully be part of it.
Well, I will be back there this Friday to check out the completed version, and I'll let you know.
So what did you think of it, Mike? I know you're a big Jungle Cruise fan and a very funny guy yourself. What did you think of the ride?
I am a Jungle Cruise fan, and I liked it. I liked the changes. I didn't have any major complaints. I liked all the new set pieces, the new animatronics. Everything was pretty fun. I especially liked the sunken boat, and then you see the other half of the boat with the monkeys on it and stuff, and I thought that was really neat. And the jokes were fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh. Yeah, I've watched your video. I watched it with Gideon. The first thing he said was 2 angles. So nice guy with the editing.
We really lucked out with that. I guess for reasons I won't go into here, but we ended up getting kind of a bonus ride that morning, so that it kind of helped with the editing. But yeah, I got to shoot it from both sides and to do the live stream. So I've been on it 3 times since the changes were unveiled.
This boat right here, this is just a Disney picture, but watching the video of it, really, really impressive. That was kind of, to me, looking at the concept art, that was the centerpiece. And yes. I think it came off just as well as I had hoped. It's really, really fun.
So this is where the village used to be, the Hokey Pokey.
Oh, okay. Nice change. Nice change.
In response to Brian, he says he talks about the change at OLC, at Tokyo being based on OLC. I noticed that I presume it was your interview, that Kim Irvine did say that whether there would be changes, that there was not any anticipated changes for the foreign locations.
Correct.
Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, that was asked of her by one of the reporters, and she said right now it's just Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
So that is doing soft openings. I believe they've continued some soft openings at Disneyland. Obviously, you can't count on that. The official opening date is July 16th, which is Friday. Mike C. will be there. Meanwhile, Jeremiah's been able to experience it in Florida, where somehow they're doing the change without closing the attraction. So every day, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
What's it like over there, Jeremiah?
They have been changing it pretty constantly. For the past month and a half or so, we'll hear, oh, they changed this out, they changed that out. One of my favorites, and if we go back in tweet history, we see the Rhino just very angrily looking at a bunch of boxes at one point because they hadn't put the pole in there yet. But they put the sunken boat in, and then they've kind of added where the canoes were, the Pygmy Village. They've added in some of those props. We haven't gotten the new boat yet, which now I know exactly where it'll be because they had put some props in. Trader Sam's had been revealed, but there is no elephant next to it. Our Trader Sam's, we have like a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea dive helmet. There's a nice hidden Mickey in there. So, and I looked at your pictures, Mike, and it looks like the props are different on both sides, which will be nice.
Are they using a virtual queue for that Trader Sam's like they were on the other coast, Jeremiah?
No. If you want to hop off the boat and run over there, don't do that. I mean, if you're going to run over from the boat, please let me know so I can video it.
Because I expected to see more annual pass holders over there, but the place was empty. So have fun with it, Mike. I'm being stupid. We can continue.
Did you guys hear about this? Heather saying that there was a cavalcade over at Disneyland today. That's exciting. So
I'll be there on Friday. I will look for it.
Yeah, we will definitely check that out on Friday.
I'll look for it tomorrow. We're going to do a live from DCA tomorrow at 1, featuring me, which will be very weird. Doobie's going to have all sorts of fun with me.
Well, good luck finding that new Disneyland cavalcade at DCA. That'll be neat.
It crosses over, right? Speaking of crossover, are we talking about Mickey's PhilharMagic next?
Yeah, but the picture didn't pop up. So go ahead.
Wait,
because we're talking
I'm sorry.
about it all.
I just wanted a quick question on the cavalcade, because Disneyland has not had cavalcades yet, right? Is that correct? They've just had hellos. They haven't had cavalcades like Disney World has. So that is very exciting. Okay, I'm sorry. On to Coco.
Ta-da! Coco is coming to the PhilharMagic attraction. The announcement also read that it would be an addition to all of our fan favorites. So that leaves us to believe that nothing is changing.
We were at DCA over the weekend, and I was so ready to go and watch Mickey's PhilharMagic to prepare myself so I could, when I see the new version, I could tell the difference, but it was closed.
No!
I'm guessing to change it over.
Oh, bummer.
Although I think they're just going to change like the movie, right? It's not like there's anything physical changing, so I don't know.
Maybe they'll put in the Donald's bottom actually moves there.
It's like lighting
They already
effects
did that.
and smells and bubbles and stuff.
My understanding, Jeremiah, they already did that. He already wiggles a bit unlike when he first debuted there.
Does he fall?
I can't remember if he falls. But I'm wondering, do you guys think that this will just be kind of sandwich in there, or do you think my thought was that they might shorten some of the other sequences so that while they don't not completely remove one, so that way the kept all your fan favorites would still apply, but it wouldn't necessarily be the previous intact and then this added in.
I don't know if they could. I mean, that would take some serious editing because each segment is set to the music perfectly. And I wouldn't mind if they did find a way to edit down, especially the Lion King version. Just cut
that's
that.
funny. My thought was a whole new world. I think the whole new world segment is way too long.
Well, as long as the Coco version, the Coco segment follows Peter Pan, I'll be more than happy.
It has to follow Peter Pan?
Play the whole thing at 110% speed.
Like a podcast. Yeah. Or some people watching, I think Netflix even has that option. So that makes sense. I like that idea.
Rebecca, I challenge you to find out why I wanted after the Peter Pan segment.
I'm going to have to figure this out because I am very perplexed. Where do you think it'll end up?
At the end. To keep people from leaving early.
It'll be after. So Iago will knock it off of the carpet, and then it'll travel down to the area of the dead somehow.
And then when it's all over, Mickey will come out as the Grim Reaper and set everything straight.
And this is opening on the 17th? Is that what
17th.
Yeah.
Disneyland's birthday next Saturday.
Rebecca, I'll just tell you the story of Peter Pan. Supposedly Peter Pan is the angel that takes babies to heaven. So Peter Pan's taking everybody to the
hell?
afterlife.
Okay.
And Donald goes into Coco.
Gotcha. Answering Jeff, what's a cavalcade? It's something that's shorter than a parade, but longer than a meet and greet.
Look at his picture. Jeff is doing a cavalcade right there.
Yep. The cavalcade is what they've been doing lately at the Magic Kingdom, which is in essence an unannounced processional that's abbreviated, maybe just a float or two from the parade, and it just kind of makes its way down the road and it's like, oh look, there's characters, and that's it. So that's what a cavalcade is.
And just to clarify, Coco on July 17th at DCA and Paris, and prior to the 50th at the Magic Kingdom.
Just like Jungle Cruises prior to the 50th at the Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Also, while we were away, we took off last week, and that day, a very different kind of situation developed as far as Fast Pass usage over at Disneyland Paris. And since we didn't get a chance to talk about it, even though it is over a week old, news-wise, I thought we'd go ahead and talk about it here, and that is that Disneyland Paris is replacing their Fast Pass with a pay-per-ride system. It's kind of a pay-per-ride, and they're calling it the Disney Premier Access. And then they are also I think they're using virtual queuing if a standby line gets to a certain length, that type of thing. So it's a very different way of approaching attraction waits. And, I figured I'd let us chat about it a bit and what the likelihood we expect to see this come to the States, that kind of thing.
I love the fact that they're calling it Premier Access. That's just become Disney's standard term for paying extra to get something faster. That's
I agree.
My thought on it.
I agree.
I'm wondering where they can apply that elsewhere. Can I get Shop Disney Premier Access so I can stop waiting forever when I want some limited edition item? That would be kind of cool.
What do you guys think about this optional add-on? What is like you pay per ride, so high demand attractions can cost you more than low demand attractions if you want it. Jeremiah shaking his head.
Bring back the ticket books. That's what, if they're going to do all of this, just bring back the ticket books. Make it easy on us all. I don't think it will actually come to Florida just because the hotels and all the different levels that they'd been doing with Fast Pass, this would just add in a whole new monkey wrench into the system. But who knows? I know that if they did, sadly, it would sell out every single day.
So this is per ride, though. So I feel like, you may want to use it for certain rides and not others. So maybe some rides sell out, but others. This isn't like Universal's Express where you're just buying it. You can buy, hey, I want to go on Space Mountain really bad. Time is short. Let me pay my $10 or whatever it ends up being.
Yet, hey, here's our Disney Premier Pass access where you pay $1,000 for your visit and you don't have to wait in any lines. Some of the lines that are made because of people buying it to wait in line in their lines.
Honestly, I like this method. I mean, it's not, obviously, I'd rather not charge anything. But if you're going to charge, I like this method because I don't want to ride necessarily the biggest rides in the world, especially when I'm with my son. He wants to ride Men in Black over and over to go to a different theme park. He doesn't want to ride the Hulk and Velocicoaster. So I feel like, maybe Men in Black, first of all, it won't sell out like the others might, and it won't be as expensive as those. So we can do what we want to do with the price we want to pay, and other people who want to do the even higher in-demand rides can do what they want to pay. And I kind of like that concept.
Yes, Jeremiah?
So one of the things that really I didn't read anywhere in any of the press releases, Disneyland Paris already had a different Fast Pass system where you'd pay for different levels of the Fast Pass. So now instead of paying, the extra money to get the thrill package, you're paying extra money for each of the attractions. Mike, when you went over to Paris, did you look into those Fast Passes?
Mm-mm.
I did, and it was, I could have paid, I want to say it was $60 for the thrill Fast Pass package, which gave me the Fast Pass for, Crush Coaster and those things. But overall, it was one attraction would be the draw, and then the other ones are kind of like just, your A tickets that you never really used.
So this is better. You buy what you want.
We enjoyed Max Pass when we were at Disneyland, and that was just purely convenience based rather than anything else. That was just, you don't have to travel to the other side of the park in order to be at a location to get a Fast Pass. You could book a Fast Pass for an attraction in Tomorrowland while you were in Frontierland, but you could only hold one or two at a time. One, right? And
then until the time came.
And then you could get a different one. But that was a nice inexpensive add-on. For me, Jimmy, it's the opposite of what you're talking about. Because one of the things regarding paying for the Fast Pass is I don't ride any thrill rides, and Gideon doesn't ride any thrill rides, but yet you enjoy Tower of Terror. And so if you were able to just, in essence, pay to jump in a fast line on Tower of Terror, it's nice because what would happen previously was you were only permitted 3 Fast Pass per day. And so you would end up booking a fast pass on that, and then you wouldn't be able to get the fast pass with us for the other 3 attractions we were doing. So you either had to invest in the time, or so it's an interesting way of kind of segmenting out fast pass usage. I'm not sure totally what it's one of those things where I want to see it in application before I really have a strong opinion on it. The notion of just paying for the access is not as big of a deal to me, because I feel like it's kind of already been happening anyway. Hence, we have the fluctuating price point and all that kind of thing. I think that's all kind of been born out of the realities of the popularity of Fast Pass and that kind of thing.
I think one of the biggest things is Disneyland Paris attracts guests from all over Europe that only have the day or two, where Walt Disney World are the length of stays, they're 5 to 7 days, and where Disneyland was the annual pass holders and locals, that's why the Max Pass works so well. So I don't know if we'll actually see it transfer over to the U.S. parks. I think it would be very interesting test if they started rolling it out at Walt Disney World, but I don't see it being a benefit for Florida guests because they're on vacation for more than a day or two.
Question from Mike Celestino. What ride are you most likely to pay $20 to ride above your park ticket?
Good question. I don't know. I feel like I don't mind waiting in line as much as other people do. I just that to me that's part of the experience. I mean, unless it's like absurdly long, but to me, like, the queues are so well designed at most Disney parks that I enjoy it most of the time. I don't mind waiting.
Spoken like a happy man. That's the
But I
key to
do
a
think,
happy life.
ultimately, I think what the plan should be is that once you get in line, they should just look at your bank account and just let you board based on how much, like, just sort it, whoever's got the most gets on first.
I feel like that's not fair.
So wait,
Okay.
how much would Tony pay to get on Rise of the Resistance without having to do a virtual queue?
We could start this business where we lend people money before they go to the park just to up their bank account and then take it back right after.
David would apparently pay for a Rise of Resistance Fast Pass. I will say that if this brings about more standby queue, not the ones where you have to wake up at like 7 a.m. and go, but like when we were at the parks, you would walk up to Indiana Jones, and if its wait time was a certain amount, then you would get like a return time in essence. Here's a Fast Pass, come back in a while. I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't mind if we saw more of that. Sure, Mike, what you got?
You know what we've noticed at the park lately at Disneyland Resort is that people seem to be having the VIP tours a lot more often.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot more plaids walking around with non-celebrities.
Really?
But I think my theory about that is that it's because there's no Fast Pass anymore, and it's basically just a way to buy. You're just buying a day-long Fast Pass.
Oh,
How do you know they're non-celebrities?
But because I'm used to every time I see a plaid with a group, I'm used to going, okay, which celebrity is this going to be? And lately, I mean, we saw Jeffrey Wright on Saturday, but otherwise it was all non-celebrities that I didn't recognize anyway.
Bold prediction time. Jungle Cruise Premier Access on Disney Plus will come with a Jungle Cruise Premier Access ticket for a theme park.
I love that idea. That's hysterical.
That would be a very expensive Premier Access for Jungle Cruise.
But you get to see the movie too.
Well, let's think about D23 is offering. They have a special event on Friday that was $75 per head that sold out in minutes. So,
how much if you wanted your whole body to go?
I'm sorry, we can't do those jokes anymore. It's not, we have to be sensitive to the cannibals in our audience.
Yes, Mike.
Speaking of Premier Access to the Jungle Cruise, I still have, back like maybe 5 years ago when the Jungle Cruise was down for refurb for an extended period of time, they were doing the skipper school out front. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
and they would just like run through the whole ride, and you could take part. You could recite the jokes and stuff. And they gave me like a souvenir map, and it's on the back. They wrote like when the ride reopens, you could come and use this as a fast pass, basically, to get on the ride. I never used it. I framed it because I wanted to keep the map because I thought it was so cool. But I wonder if that would still work.
Take it with you on Friday. See if it works.
No, you have to wait. It's going to be like One-Eyed Willie's map. In 50 years, 100 years, some kids are going to find it. Like, where is this Disneyland Jungle Cruise?
Cindy Lauper's going to sing a song about it.
Speaking of Jungle Cruise maps, that was one of the Easter eggs that Kim Irvine talked about. As I recall, it was that the maps are swapped on the ride.
Yes.
So when you ride the California one, the monkeys have the Florida, and when you're on the Florida, they have.
Are there a lot of Easter eggs to be found there, Mike?
Well, now we know that the jackets from the movie are in the queue, at least here. I don't know about in Florida, but
they haven't touched our queue out there.
Okay, The Rock and Emily Blunt's jackets are in the queue, and then there's a lot of SCA, Society of Explorers and Adventurers stuff that's been added. But I actually didn't get to spend a lot of time in the queue on Friday, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most. This Friday is going to be like actually waiting in line, like we were talking about, and getting some time to like hang out in there and take pics.
But Mike, if you have $75, you don't have to wait in line for it.
There you go.
Just if you walk up to a cast member and say, "Here's $75, get to the front of the line," you will get to the front of the line, my friend.
Laughing Place does not endorse bribing cast members to get to the front of the line in any way, shape, or form.
But if you do have a few dollars laying around that you would use for such a thing, maybe instead you can consider checking out this Potter and Potter Disneyana auction, where they have a authentic Mr. Toad Wild Ride vehicle. They have some awning from the Walt Disney World Railroad. There's so many different amazing pieces available. This is an additional prop piece.
That's a cool one to have. I didn't know that they were selling that.
That was my favorite too. It's not cheap.
And on the back of it, I guess it says DL prop.
So that's great. And so few people would know what that is.
Right?
Unless you've done this a bunch, which I have.
A variety of costumes are available. Numerous items from Haunted Mansion events that were held in the early 2000s are a part of the auction, both as individual pieces, and then some of them have been grouped into lots. I found this to be the most interesting and unique item. This is actually the VIP gift basket that was presented to Harriet Burns at the 99 Haunts event. And it has a letter in it in her handwriting letting you know that it's hers. But it has a lot of items that were sold at the event, and they gave them as gifts to the VIPs in attendance. There's also
presented to Harriet Burns?
Yeah, kind of, like a welcome basket, when you have a guest come to your event. Mm-hmm. This was her basket.
She didn't keep it or open it?
No, she set it aside for such a thing, or she gave it. My guess is she gave it to somebody who's in this industry, and so that's why it has the letter of authenticity and all that kind of stuff. Go ahead, Jeremiah. You look like you want to say something.
A lot of those, I know the ones that they've held. I can't think of the shop that did it where they did the giant one that was the craft. Like a lot of them are people that went to past Imagineers who have passed on that their family sold at estate sales, and then they would turn around and send them over to the auction houses. But Harriet's, I believe, was a family member, I think I heard, that decided to pass that along. That lot is something that I would go crazy for.
It's a lot of items connected with the grand opening of Indiana Jones Adventure. Some of it's cast member items, some of it's Imagineering items, and this is all over at Potter and Potter Auctions. And you can look at the lots. The auction itself hasn't yet opened, but absentee bids are being taken and they're being posted there, so you can kind of see what price range these items are currently. What they're anticipating that they'll go for. Or they've listed them as anticipating to go for, and then what they are currently sitting at. I personally think that some of the like expected bid range was a bit low. I'm wondering if that's to make it like get the word out there more, so it seems a bit more accessible. But some really gorgeous stuff. These, I remember how hot these were when this event happened. These bookends. So yeah, I know Jeremiah looked through this stuff, and this was also another interesting piece. Can you guess what this is, Mike Celestino?
No, I don't know what that is.
This cracked me up. These are little reflector pieces that were part of that wand that was on top of Spaceship Earth during the Millennium celebration, so they would sparkle up there.
I love this item. I would so buy this item.
So yeah, so they were there. There are a few like "Please remain seated" signs. So pretty much anything that you would be looking for in the realm of Disney and Disney parks, you can find there.
What is the estimated going price for the?
My
Shadow
recollection.
Oh, let me look.
Sorry,
Go ahead, Jimmy. What were you saying?
I was listening to Jeremiah's announcement.
Oh, yeah, Waterworld show is full, so if you're in the park
Aw.
and you're going to try to make it to the 4:45 or whatever time Waterworld show, it is full, sadly. Especially since I'm like feet away and can see the theater.
Minimum bid for the 13th hour is $3,000, with the estimate of $6,000 to $8,000.
But no bids thus far, so it can be yours, Mike Celestino.
I remember I went to an auction out here at the Van Eaton Galleries where after the Tower of Terror closed at DCA, and they were selling all the furniture from the lobby, and I almost like the like mail cabinet thing from behind the front desk was there. I was like, oh, that would be a great thing to have. And it was, the estimate was $6,000, and I was talking to Ricky Briganti, and we were like, should we split this thing? You want to split this? And it ended up selling for much more than that, which was the only reason why we didn't really end up bidding on it or anything.
A couple of years ago, the D23 Expo, when they did that one huge auction, they used to do the auctions. They had the zebra display case that was part of the Adventurers Club from the zebra mezzanine that they painted to look like the rainbow zebra from the gum thing. And I sat there for probably about 5 hours debating before it went, when I was going out there going, could I? And it actually undersold because they hardly got any of the auctions going for what they expected out there. I think it went for just $3,000 to $4,000, and I kicked myself, but that would have been expensive to ship back to Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we know Jeremiah is at the front of the line when they sort it by personal wealth.
Apparently, man. Okay.
Do I have it? No.
There's been a lot of other news headlines, but I know we're probably at a point where we're beginning to wrap up. Is there anything, DB, that you wanted to make sure we touched on?
Disneyland's birthday's in a week, which I know it's not a round number, but considering that last year's birthday was a round number and wasn't able to be properly held, it feels like this is kind of a big deal. Disneyland turned 66 in a week. Less than a week. 5 days. So I just want to say, on behalf of me and the rest, in the words of Jeremiah, on behalf of my head and the rest of my body, happy birthday, Disneyland.
Are we going to have a party again?
You're going to be not around.
I know. That's why I was asking.
I do not plan to do another 8-hour broadcast, as much fun as that was. It's fun to think back to deciding to do that for Disneyland 65th.
Oh, speaking of fun broadcast, we since last week we didn't have a parks talk. We missed talking about the fireworks returning to Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's true. We did miss talking about that. I talked about it at the time because I hosted I co-hosted along with Tony Betty a live presentation, and you were part of that, Mr. Cameraman in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. And we have a great video up of the return of Epcot Forever that is very close to the fireworks launchers that nobody knew exactly where they were. I heard everybody in that section jump when the first launch went.
That's cool. Did you get to see the fireworks, Mike, on any trips yet?
I watched the Mickey's Mix Magic fireworks on the 4th of July as we were driving out of the Mickey and Friends parking lot, so I saw them from the car as we wanted to kind of beat the traffic on the way out. We tried to get a spot kind of too late in the evening, but that Main Street USA was so jam-packed with people that it was impossible to even find even like a tiny little spot to
And you
sit.
didn't bother at all on your last visit?
Well, we were at DCA on Saturday only, so we
Okay.
didn't go to Disneyland.
My goal tomorrow is to get us a video of it, Mike. So, because
Cool.
I'm gonna hang out probably all day there.
Who's this guy?
It's President Loki, or Loki that's running for president, I guess.
They refer
Although the
to him as
hashtag says
President
president.
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the loop, not having seen this.
It's a
Yep.
good show.
I keep hearing it.
Really
And
see
President
it.
Loki is sticking around for the rest of the month, as I read. That they're not supposedly they're not going to change him out after the final episode on Wednesday, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if Loki's even still around after the final episode.
Loki, are there rumors Loki's going to die?
If he dies, that Loki in the park can just lay on the ground.
Yeah,
That'd be a great gig.
they're going to actually have a Thanos. That Thanos that you talked about that one time, Doobie, the giant Thanos guy. He's just going to walk around holding Loki in his hand.
I like that idea. They should figure out a way to reenact the Thanos snap at Avengers Campus.
That would help
Just-
me with my lines.
Just
tomorrow and get
give
through.
everyone a color, red or blue, and then boom, if you got the wrong color, you just gotta leave Avengers Campus.
Maybe that'll be part of that quantum dining experience at the Disney Cruise Line.
I
Here's
would love
dessert.
that.
Here's dessert. Did you have the chocolate or the vanilla? Oh, sorry.
So you know how they do the muster drill? Wouldn't it be fun during Avengers cruises to somehow work that into the muster drill?
Thanos snap. Join us
Actually,
now for the
This is a
Thanos.
great way to do the web slingers queue instead of the virtual queue. Anyone could get in line at any time, but like once an hour the snap happens
I
and
love.
half the people have to leave.
I
This
wish.
is the darkest episode we have ever done.
I
And
think
that
it would be
says a lot.
so awesome if they committed to something like that. just do it. Okay, we are going to take you to Avengers Campus.
People's phones would vibrate and then
Yeah.
would just be you've been snapped.
Yeah.
Little puff of dust, and then you're gone.
Oh yeah, I'm for it. I sign on.
I would do it. I love the idea. All right. Looks like Jeremiah's on the move.
He
I was
is.
going to go show around a little bit while we're still talking.
Why not?
Since we're talking about mustard and Thanos.
Oh, hey, Mike C, you got to check out this Clue Live. Was this you?
That was me, yes. We did that Thursday evening at Westfield Century City Outdoor Shopping Mall. It's kind of an immersive theater type thing, although I would put quotation marks around the word immersive because you're supposed to be in an old mansion and it's really just a shopping mall, and they have
Right.
those like backdrops where you'll walk around. The characters from the board game Clue are there. They tell you they're part of the story, and then you can ask them questions, and you have to solve the murder, who committed the murder with what weapon in which room or whatever. So it's pretty fun. It's I've done some real immersive stuff, so I think I'm a little jaded about it, but I think it's a good like entry level, very basic immersive theater experience.
Right.
Just watching Jeremiah. It's fun to see him. I saw Scooby-Doo back there.
Yeah.
You know the best part of this stream, though, watching Jeremiah walk through Hollywood, is we always get to see Jeremiah's face. Why
If I could
bother
flip
with...
my camera around, you know that.
I think our next walk and talk, we're going in this direction. We're watching Jeremiah's face as he heads through the parks.
So right here is the construction of one of the Horror Nights mazes.
That time of year. That's a good
Right.
place for things.
The mounds.
Anything else, hon? Or are we pretty much done?
I think we're done, dear.
Jeez whiz. Someday. I need to mute you before I do that.
No, I think that covers it. I mean, the biggest news is that they made all these kinds of holiday announcements regarding Walt Disney World. Oogie Boogie goes on sale tomorrow. Run Disney goes on sale tomorrow. So be prepared for a Twitter timeline full of the praises of Disney IT and the ease and beauty of purchasing tickets for a Disney event online.
We didn't even touch on the Trader Sam's opening. Speaking of things that did not go well.
I want to know this because I haven't got to talk to you. Can we keep talking? Do you guys have?
Sure. So Mike did do a stream from the Disneyland Hotel. Bye, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
From the Disneyland Hotel, which is reopened. Thank you, Jeremiah.
So this is about a week and a half ago. The Disneyland Hotel and Trader Sam's reopened the same day as the Matterhorn. And I got there at opening. I went to the Disneyland Hotel first to take pictures and tweet about what the hotel looked like upon reopening. And I went by Trader Sam's to see what was going on because I knew it was opening at 4 p.m. that day. And I wanted to go in, being a fan of the bar. So I got there. I asked around. There were a few other fans there kind of waiting. And everybody was told that there really wasn't going to be a line yet. That at 4 p.m. you could come back. There was a QR code you could scan, and that would put you in kind of a virtual queue to get into Trader Sam's. So I was like, okay, great. I'll go to the park. I did the Matterhorn. There was a couple other things happening that day. The Black Widow with the white outfit and everything. 4 p.m. I get back over there. It's a total mess. There's like 3 different lines have formed. 2 at the main entrance, one going like down the stairs to the south and one going like to the west, and then one over by Tangaroa Terrace. And like everybody's asking the cast members like how it's going to work, because this is like 3:30 or so when I got back there, and everybody's getting told something different. I get in one of the lines by the entrance, and then people started to ask like which line is the true line, basically. And I think they started to kind of consolidate the lines to the point where like the one I was in actually ended up being the one that they told us was going to be the right line. But 4 o'clock eventually rolls around. We all scan the QR code and we're trying to like join the virtual queue, and no one, like literally no one in the line is able to join the virtual queue. So there's just this kind of like standby line. No one's in the virtual queue that we know of. But the group that was over by Tangaroa Terrace ends up getting let into the bar because I guess they were waiting there. Like, because I had seen some people in the morning. I guess those people had waited literally all day. So the cast members like kind of took pity on them and let them go into the bar, which was fine. I understood that. That made sense to me. They had waited many hours, and the problem was that there was no organization or plan to get in the rest of the people who were waiting. But then it turned out that there were people who had gotten in the virtual queue, except it had started at 11 a.m., just kind of arbitrarily. It had opened up at 11, so people started showing up and showing their spot in the virtual queue and getting into the bar. So everyone in that line who had been waiting for, I guess, like 30, 45 minutes, which doesn't seem like terribly long, but it was still kind of upsetting. They were all kind of frustrated. And then like 15, 20 minutes later, the cast members came out and they were like, yeah, there's very little chance of any of you getting into the bar. So it was like an hour that I wasted there, which was kind of a bummer. And I was a little annoyed at that. What annoyed me was that nobody really knew what was going on.
Right.
But I guess, it was the first day back. I'm sure they ironed out the problems in subsequent days. I'm going to try again on Friday, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck. That's really sad and disappointing.
I think the hardest part with those kinds of things is when you don't get communication. Like
because if I had known about the 11 a.m. thing, I would have gone back and tried to get in then. It's just kind of it'd be like if you showed up to the park to ride web crawlers, thinking you could just get in line. Right.
And you get there, it's like, oh no, actually the line filled up at 7:02 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But at least there you could have known.
Right.
All right,
but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, in this case, it was a matter of like tomorrow, like this thing with the Oogie Boogie Bash tickets. I know they go on sale tomorrow, but I haven't yet found a time that they go
Yeah.
on sale. So
Right.
I guess your best bet is what? Follow Disney Parks on Twitter. I know all the, the websites will also announce it, but it seems like, Disney Parks Twitter and Facebook, will be the best ways to kind of stay aware of what time, because they haven't posted that officially anywhere. So
Are we anticipating that to sell out pretty quickly?
I don't think we anticipate the whole thing selling out, but I'm sure certain nights.
Certain days will be
Yeah.
have greater popularity than others, will be my expectation. But you've also got the Run Disney thing going on, and so who knows how many people are going to be wrapped up in trying to book their Run Disney.
Which I think is expected to sell out. So.
Yep. And meanwhile, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to buy the Rock Love jewelry that comes out tomorrow. So
These are the real
that
decisions.
going on too. So many things. So many things. But I guess that's it for this week. I mean, there's always so much more going on. You can find out all about what's happening if you go to laughingplace.com/Disney Parks. And that's where you can find an archive of the various content that we've written about the Disney parks from day to day, whether it's new restaurants, all that kind of stuff. I know that some locations at Disneyland, while not technically open, do have to-go now available. Things like Harbor Galley and Hungry Bear, I guess, are doing mobile order, even though they're listed as temporarily unavailable.
Oh, wow.
So things like that are happening. So yeah, all the time things are changing and popping up. And we do our best to keep you informed.
Yep, with live streams coming up this week from DCA tomorrow, Mike Celestino's Disneyland on Friday. So much going on with the holidays approaching, the theme parks basically back up to full swing.
I know tomorrow on Barely Necessities, we've got a lot of new merchandise to highlight. There's a new dress at the Disney Dress Shop celebrating Casey's Corner, the Magic Kingdom eatery, which I just find hysterical. Can't wait to talk about that with Becca.
And if you watched our live stream, you would have been there the moment we first saw that dress as Jeremiah walked through the store.
I missed that.
That was
so
fun.
Yeah, so lots happening here.
Oh, so thank everyone for joining us, and thanks Jeremiah for gracing us for the while that you did, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.